Heidi.
And I'm Byron.
And we are Sailing Schmitten. Hi friends, we took a little break from making videos, but we're back because we're ready to start cruising southeast from Texas to the Bahamas. This episode is documenting our journey from Kemah, Texas to Pensacola, Florida, across the Gulf of America.
Didn't we do that last year?
No, that was the Gulf of Mexico, and that Gulf tore our boat apart. Okay.
Hold on.
We were ready to leave Kemah on February 1st, but we didn't get a good weather window until February 17th. We used NOAA, Windy, and Ventusky for our weather planning. We reviewed our plans with a friend and very experienced mariner, Al. Everything looked good for this crossing. So on February 16th, we made last-minute runs to take things to storage, get groceries, and we did laundry. We asked our friends to throw off our lines the morning of the 17th at 8 a.m. To our friends at Kemah Boardwalk Marina, we will miss y'all. You are a lot of fun. Happy sailing. At 44 degrees, it was pretty cold, but we were excited to be on our way. We will go through at least 34 sets of channel markers to get out of the Houston Ship Channel. As we were getting close to Galveston and the Bolivar Peninsula, we got to see the Bolivar ferries crossing in front of us. I made these great fender holders, but conditions were so rough and cold that I didn't want to go forward to put them on. Eventually, I just put them away. Maybe next time. We got the chance to see a pilot boat keeping pace with a ship in order to extract the local pilot at the channel's end and allow the ship's captain to resume command. They were traveling at about 8 to 9 knots during this transfer. Finally, after 5 hours of motoring through the channel, we see the last channel marker. Most of the ships we will see now are anchored, waiting to get into the channel. Around 3 p.m., we learned of a developing storm system behind us that would enter our route. So much for our weather window. We decided to push further south to minimize our exposure. We expected to be in the storm Tuesday evening, which was the next day. The Gulf, formerly known as Mexico, said, "Look, Heidi and Byron are back. Let's have some fun." We're finally under sail without the engine noise, and the rhythm of the swells feels more natural. I like to give the color of the water a special name, just like Crayola crayons. This is Glacial Blue. We're finally under sail, and it feels a lot better.
That's great. Not going the direction we want, but that's okay. Going south to get warm.
The first sunset at sea during a passage pierces the soul with its beauty and seems to last forever. And when you make it through the night, you get the same beauty on the other side to spark hope into another day. We covered about 100 nautical miles in 22 hours. It was still very cold. This is where we took turns sleeping last night with as many blankets as we had. It was a gray day with decent seas, but we knew the storm was coming, and now there would be 2 storm systems, plus a cold front afterwards. By 3:30 p.m. on Tuesday, our second day, we could see the early signs of the storm coming. We were going to be in it, and there was nothing we could do but sit back and admire the amazing and unpredictable force of the ocean. Were we ready? Ready or not, here it comes. Let's go sailing. It'll be fun. Right after we passed this rig, the first storm was upon us. It was about 6:30 p.m. We had 24 to 27 knots of wind and 7-foot seas. About 6 different bands of rain developed between 6:30 and 11 p.m. The seas remained rough. The cockpit was soaked. The next storm started at 3 a.m. with lightning and rain. There was popping that sounded like fireworks. We assumed that was thunder. At 4 a.m. it was finished, and that's when the northern cold front came through. We were soaking wet in the 37 knots of wind at 41 degrees. Wednesday morning after the storms, we had the north wind so we could raise our sails and head east. Most of the day we were traveling at 6 to 7 knots. We saw 7 to 10-foot seas as they were still building. We spent most of the day recovering, staying warm, and finding new dry clothes. We had made another 110 nautical miles in the 24-hour period. Byron finally gets some sleep. Please note, we don't normally live like this. Sometimes you actually come across another ship out there. At first I thought it was Coast Guard because of the colors, but as it got closer it looked like some sort of weather research vessel. Eventually it disappeared, going on its own course. We did invest in a Starlink Mini this year. It uses considerable power, so we limited our usage to checking weather only. There wasn't any adverse weather going into Wednesday night, at least no predicted storms. It's been a pretty rough trip so far as weather goes, and we've broken some parts of the boat, like interior, like the cabin table. I was thrown across the room and the table just completely fell apart when I hit it. I'm a little broken too. And then we broke a couple of handholds off down below. And Byron's taking a rest right now. We've each been giving each other extra time for resting. In other words, we've been extending our shifts because, it just feels better. You can keep your watch a little bit longer and let your partner have more sleep. Attitudes make all the difference, and we've been doing that for each other. So, working so far. Yeah, so last night I gave him an extra hour of sleep by taking an extra hour on my watch. And then he turns around and gives me 2.5 extra hours of sleep by extending his watch. And he's just the kind of guy he is. He's just a good man. I hope everyone has someone like that in their life. Well, the plans may have just changed because we just, one of the lines to our Genoa sail just gave way and broke. So we had to bring that sail in. Now we just got our main. So I guess we're going to reevaluate whether we're going to go to Pensacola or somewhere closer like Biloxi or something. To be continued. Right now Byron is he's replacing some of our quarter boat straps that somehow came off during the storms. And then what we decided to do about the lines that go to our Genoa, we decided to just use the port side line and switch it over to starboard, because we're usually staying on that one tack for a long period of time, and then once the winds are supposed to change to easterlies, then we'll take the starboard line and run it back to port. And then we can go on that tack for a while. That's our solution for now. My one complaint is that he shouldn't be unclipped for this long, or we need to add secondary tethers so that we are never not clipped on. And just like that, we're back in business. Got our genoa back out now. And thanks to the sky. Next time I'll just organize the V-berth like this to start with, and then we won't have any problems. This table has its share of trouble too. Thursday evening we got free Wi-Fi from this rig, so we checked our weather again. Then we enjoyed God's masterpiece in the skies. The cracks are where the light gets in. Once we were thinking more clearly, we were able to fix the jib sheet that broke with another line we had on board that was long enough. Here is our makeshift jib sheet. It wasn't the right diameter, but it seemed to work. And with the state, we've got really good wind and current is favoring us right now. At one point, we saw 8.5 knots, which right now we're probably 6.5 to 7. And so hopefully we're actually gonna bring the ship in to land or whatever. On Friday, February 21st in the afternoon, and after 5 days, we are finally getting some blue skies. We should make it to Pensacola within 24 hours. It's still very cold. All you can see is black in one direction. It was a very peaceful night. To the north, as we headed to land, about 30 miles offshore, we could see the light pollution from the cities. Land ho! Happy to be back?
Happy to be back. It's my home right there.
Fort McRee Anchorage! This was our third time to cross this Gulf of America. I'm just not sure I will do it again. It's the conditions I'm not sure I'm willing to enter into or put up with. It's worn me down. Red, right, returning. What a welcome thought after a rough passage. After doing some repairs at Pelican's Perch Marina, our next leg of the journey south will be Port St. Joe.